Imagine stepping outside and feeling the sun punch you at 48 degrees Celsius. Today, I'll show you why our cities are turning into ovens and the urban design hacks that could save your life. But before we dive in, let's take a moment to really look outside. What do you see? Roads, rooftops, parking lots, or trees, grass, and water? Most of us, we live surrounded by hard surfaces. Concrete, brick, asphalt, and those materials can trap a lot of heat. Sometimes 10 to 30 degrees hotter than the air around them. If what you're seeing right now is mostly grey, you're not alone. But that also means you are living in what we call an urban heat owl. And that's where things get dangerous. In a moment, we are going to break down why this matters and how we can cool down a city like yours before things get worse. If your city just now looks mostly grey, it's not just ugly, it's dangerous. Ever wondered why these cities feel so much hotter than the average countryside? Because that's not just in your imagination. The materials we build with, concrete, brick, asphalt, they soak up the sun all day long. Then they release that in the night. They turn your neighborhood into a slow cooker, even when the air cools down, because they trap the heat so well. And in most cities, there's barely any trees or water to cool things down. No shade, no breeze. Just more heat bouncing off every surface. This raises city temperatures by up to 7 degrees Celsius. That's not just uncomfortable, sometimes it's even deadly. Now in May 2024, Delhi baked under back-to-back days of over 74 degrees Celsius. But here's the terrifying part. Nighttime temperatures stayed above 33 degrees Celsius. The hospitals, they ran out of IV fluids. People collapsed in the streets. And most victims were outdoor workers or elderly residents stuck in their home. They never cooled down. This isn't just a faraway problem. If your city is built the same way, it faces the same risks. But there are ways that we can fight back. In fact, one city just tried something very bold. They painted their streets with reflective coating that looks almost like white paint. And what happened? It surprised even the very engineers that made it. In Los Angeles, a city notorious for scorching summers, they tried something radical. They started painting their streets. It might sound insane, but it's actually quite genius. They didn't just use normal paint. No, this is a special reflective coating that helps bounce the sunlight away instead of absorbing it. It's called Cool Seal, and in early trails, it dropped street level temperatures by up to 5 degrees Celsius. That's almost the reference the urban heat owls are based on, and definitely enough to make a real difference, especially in neighborhoods without shade or ACs. Just think about what that means. It attacks the problem we just talked about at its very source. Less heat radiating into your home. At night, safer pavements for pedestrians and pets, and even better working conditions for outdoor workers. One city official said it best. We can't air condition the outdoors, but we can make smarter surfaces. Now, it's not a silver bullet, and it's also not cheap. But in a world heating up fast, solutions like these show what's possible when cities think outside the box. And here's what I love about it. It's a design fix. We didn't wait for a tech miracle or a billion-dollar breakthrough, just a smarter way to build what we already use, and easy to scale up and implement wherever we need it. But LA is not the only one that's experimenting. In one neighborhood, something the size of a tennis court had an even bigger cooling effect, and it involved zero concrete at all. What if I told you a patch of forest around the size of a tennis court could cool down an entire city block? Sounds impossible, right? But it's already happening. Right now, in cities like Tokyo, Paris, and even right next to me in Amsterdam. These are called microforests, following a planting technique known as the Miyawaki method, named after the Japanese botanist who invented it. This is a technique where native trees and plants are packed tightly together to mimic forest densities. It creates dense, self-sustaining forests that grow up to 10 times faster than traditional city plantings. And the best part? They start cooling down their surroundings immediately. A single microforest can lower local air temperatures by up to 4 degrees Celsius, a bit less than the reflective paint, but with a wider reach. And this isn't just theory, it's already working in schools, housing blocks, and even alongside highways. And beyond the cooling, they do so much more. They clean the air, reduce noise, they boost biodiversity, and very simply, they beautify the city. It's low tech, low cost, and people love it. Not only do you cool down your city, but you get a perfect spot to relax or have a barbecue. The only real challenge? Finding the space and will to plant it. But what if I told you there's also a way to cool down your street without planting a single tree or painting the roads? And it might even cost less than your air conditioner. We can cool down a street instantly. This is exactly what water mist systems do. These systems spray a fine mist of water into the air, which evaporates quickly, sucking heat out of the environment and cooling everything down also by another 5 degrees. That said, these mist systems work best in a dry climate, where evaporation happens fast. In really humid places, they are less effective. And yes, water use is a concern, but many setups recycle the water or use treated sources to keep things sustainable. I actually used a mist system myself on a construction site during a heatwave in 2022. It helped us keep building safely, even if we did go through a bit more ice cream than usual. This is not just a luxury, it's a practical, low-tech tool communities and workplaces can use right now to fight urban heat. So, between cool pavements, microforests, and these mist systems, there are real options to help cities beat the heat. So, we have looked at 3 powerful ways cities are fighting back against the heat. Cool pavements that reflect sunlight and lower street temperatures by up to 5 degrees Celsius, because heat that doesn't get stuck also can't radiate back out again. Urban microforests that are tiny dense patches of native trees that can cool a block by around 4 degrees while cleaning the air and boosting biodiversity. And maybe the easiest one to use yourself, water mist systems. Spraying a fine mist to cool outdoor spaces, perfect for dry climates and easy for communities to set up themselves. And here's a quick checklist you can use in your city or neighborhood to cool down this summer. Look for areas with lots of dark pavement baking into sun. Could they use reflective coatings? And check if there's space for a small green oasis. Even a microforest can make a big difference. And think about places where people gather and might benefit from a mystic system. Parks, playgrounds, or even outdoor markets. And if you want to cool down your house, go take a look at your garden. Get rid of some of the grey and put in some green. It will both lessen the heat that gets stuck and naturally cool the air around it. And what about you? Which of these would you try in your own city? Or do you have another trick up your sleeve to beat the heat? Share your thoughts. I love hearing what works. The future of our cities depends on the choices we make today. Together, we are building a sustainable tomorrow, one step at a time. If you want to take part in building this sustainable tomorrow, hit subscribe and join the community. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.